Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it once again is not just a new era in WWE, but a new era for the man as I introduce to you my brand new Monday Night Raw review graphics. Hope you guys think this is a little neater. Again, simple, but again, will probably be tweaked, throughout, as time goes by, as I again continue to say repeatedly, enhance my craft with Adobe After Effects, playing with some presets, and with Photoshop as well, making these, championship renders as I do have right here now. Just kind of wanted to include more people in the graphic, I thought. We have the General Manager, we have World Champion, we have Tag Team Champion for the men. Well, now we have 2 Tag Team Champions for the men. We got one of the mid-card titles, the Women's title, and the Women's Tag Team Championships as well. So yeah, this is a new setup. This is, I think it looks neat. I, again, do have a very similar one for SmackDown, except, of course, the red will be blue. Of course, I did have to modify these graphics as I did have the old champions originally, but, of course, some may not be champions super duper long. We'll have to wait and see. So, I, definitely just had to get them while I can to, acknowledge them while we are here. But with that being said, guys, we are going to get rolling. So what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993. We are live on YouTube for my live review of the Raw after WrestleMania 40. Took place this past Monday, April 8th, 2024 at the Wells Fargo Center is loading up. I'm trying to modify the song from The Music Man because I did that musical when I was in the 6th grade. But yeah, it took place at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, just right across the street from where WrestleMania 40 took place, Lincoln Financial Field, again, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We're going to talk about this episode of Raw. Of course, we are officially, again, in a new era. And WWE has announced that they are fading away from the term sports entertainment. They are bringing back pro wrestling. As it continues to be emphasized, we are in the the Paul Levesque Triple H era. We are in now. No Vince McMahon. So, with it being Raw after Mania, which is always normally one of the best Raws of the year, we have had a string for the last 4 or 5 years, I would say, where the Raw after WrestleMania has actually sucked. It honestly really has. So last year's especially, one of the worst Raws in the past couple years for sure was last year's Raw after Mania. Because why? Because who had full control and just ripped up the script that night? Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Oh, I'm sorry. That is one of the very few do not say terms right now in this new professional wrestling era. Because Vince is no longer here. His daughter makes an appearance at WrestleMania to put over her support for the product. There are rumors that there are talks in bringing Stephanie McMahon back to WWE. I hope that does happen for sure. Because a lot of people do say she also has had a lot of influence on the women's division as well. With her back, I'm pretty sure that will help also get a boost to the women's division as well too. So I do hope they do work something out to bring her back. Just, well, the simplest thing is, don't bring back Vince. Do not bring back Vince. Which shouldn't happen. Hopefully. We'll have to wait and see, though. But this year's Raw after WrestleMania. Within the past 5 years, it was definitely the best one. It was better. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't a joke. It wasn't like hot garbage, like having the Bar randomly show up to ruin a title versus title match that's not even on their show. Yeah, I'm talking about Raw after Mania 2019 that I attended live, although I think last year's was worse in my opinion. But this one, the way I compare it, it felt like night one of WrestleMania. Good, but I expected a little bit more. More so of like a setup, even though the first hour was a Cody Rhodes and The Rock promo. The Rock is leaving for a little bit. He does have some projects for the summer. And he could be back by SummerSlam. And it looks like the match they will probably do at SummerSlam is Cody Rhodes and The Rock one-on-one based off of that promo. And of course also, The Rock did pin Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. Other than that, mostly like a setup, some showcasing of NXT, bringing up both of their world champions to have matches on Raw. And of course they did announce that the last weekend in April will be another draft. Even though I find that a little bit odd that they're having a draft after they just had a bunch of like superstars, free agents, Andrade, Braun Breaker, Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, and a few others that they did just sign to specific brands, but now they may get moved again. A little strange, but this year's draft, of course, like WrestleMania and everything else, is all Triple H. So we'll see, of course, what will happen with this year's draft for sure. We're definitely going to be having one of our world champions move because we can't have both world champions on one show. But again, we'll see what happens with that. And we'll roll from there. But we have that in a few weeks. But yeah. Tyler is in the live chat. What's up, buddy? He said this Raw after Mania was better than last year. Why is Jey Uso the face the world champion? Probably because my prediction for the future of the world title is I think Damian Priest is at least going to hold it till Clash at the Castle. Because again, as I said before, they made up for Drew not winning a world title in front of fans at WrestleMania 40 this year. And I think the other thing they're going to make up for is not having Drew win that match against Roman at Clash of the Castle in 2022. So I think that's going to kind of fix that mistake, and he'll dethrone Damian Priest at Clash at the Castle, I think is what's going to happen. So Jey is kind of like, although I won't lie, part of me does want to see Jey someday get that world title. But Jey's a nice, little feud for Damian to do until we get to him and Drew for Scotland. Because we do have 2 pay-per-views before Clash at the Castle. We do have Backlash, and we also have King and Queen of the Ring, which I am very interested to see how that one goes down for sure, since I've never seen a King of the Ring pay-per-view before. No Vince incited, thank goodness. Watch Jade Cargill or Bianca go to Raw, and yep, we already discussed that the other day, Tyler. I definitely agree. Neither Jade Cargill nor Rhea Ripley should be neither Jade Cargill nor Bianca Belair should be the one to dethrone Rhea Ripley. I mean, well, Jade, long way down the road. I can definitely see them doing a feud with Rhea and Bianca because they teased that match last year. It's probably going to happen at some point. But if it happens, again, Rhea needs to beat her. Again, you got to give it to someone else. Although they teased a match already with that someone else. And I'm like, not yet on this episode of Raw. But we'll get to that as well. We also, I think at some point in this Raw, did have a video package for Sheamus. So like, Shamo is coming back. I did read a rumor that somebody thought he was going to leave and go to AEW. But I don't think he needs to do that. Oh God, I will have a video, maybe recorded tonight, if not tomorrow. But we're not going to talk about it here. We're going to just move on. But yeah, Sheamus is on his way back as well. And we'll roll from there. Why is Jade having a match on Raw? No idea. I guess it was a surprise. Who knows? Right now, it's kind of like you can give a little bit of exceptions because I don't know. I don't know why they had Jade on Raw either, if I'm being honest. But anyways, I don't see Seth and Becky leave WWE. I really don't think they're going to leave. I mean, yes, they've done basically everything. Well, Punk still has his future match with Seth to do. But I think they're WWE lifers. I don't think they're leaving, if I'm being honest. But we are going to move in and start talking about the episode of Raw. Let's not go word for word, but talk about what happened with this hour-long opening promo. Triple H came out. He soaks in the Thank You Hunter chants. He declares WrestleMania 40 the greatest one ever, solely because he wrote the whole thing, as he said, which I was like, Night 2 alone was definitely one of the best. Night 1, I would definitely say it was one of the strongest WrestleManias overall. He welcomes us to the show, and then he introduces the new undisputed champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. He comes out. Triple H once again congratulates him and puts him over, and they have this big video package highlighting Cody's career, which makes him all emotional and whatnot. And then the crowd's chanting, "You deserve it," and he lays the belt down in the middle of the ring, kisses it before doing his normal intro of like, "What do you want to talk about?" He thought he knew what he wanted to talk about, which was his whole business. Something he heard, and he asked Samantha Irvin, I can't believe I'm botching her name, to announce him just one more time as the Universal Champion, which of course she does. He mentions how he laid out his mission statement 2 years ago. And of course, last night, on Sunday night, that dream became reality. He told us that Philadelphia is 35 feet above sea level, but the air seems thin because he's standing at the top of the mountain. He does put over Roman Reigns, congratulating him for a well-done 1,316-day title reign, which does leave the crowd giving a "Thank You Roman" chant, which, give it to Joe White. He definitely deserves it. After all the years he was stuck in that, shoved down the throat, forced babyface role, and finally got his chance to just, excel in a character as the tribal chief. So yeah, definitely hats off and all the respect to Roman Reigns. And then Cody says, though, the thing to ask you when you get into wrestling is, what is your why? And then he starts doing stuff like showing that he does it because of his daughter and whatnot. He's no longer a challenger. He is a champ. He is a champion. Let me see here. But then he's also saying it's an unique predicament. He always stood in the line, but now the line is for him. He's Cody Rhodes, once undesirable, becoming undeniable, and now he is undisputed champion. Which then brings out Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, as he comes out carrying that title still from Muhammad Ali that he was given at the Hall of Fame ceremony. And he basically, for a few minutes, was getting the same treatment Roman Reigns got after WrestleMania 33. With the "Rocky sucks" chants, taking forever for him to speak. But Rock, though, knew how to handle it. And he starts talking. He says he came out here to give Cody his flowers. And also mentioned that Philadelphia broke another record for the largest gathering of trailer park trash, which got the crowd to actually pop really loud. He also says he came out here, no fireworks, no blood spilled, just to give Cody his flowers because Cody did it. He beat Roman. He then of course, just reflects on their feud, Talk about the smile on Cody's mom's face, how she would be proud, and how Dusty Rhodes has a big smile on his face up in heaven. A lot of people knew that Dusty was The Rock's hero. And his dad, Rocky Johnson, was friends with Dusty. And his dad would be happy with what he did to Cody, but he decided he didn't care. He talks about the titles and the new plates. And he's like, can I hold your title? And they awkwardly just switched titles before the crowd started chanting, this is awkward. It did get a little bit weird, not going to lie there. And then he also told him he'd be honored if Cody would hold the People's Championship, which again is where this is awkward chant broke out. But whenever they switched it back, Rock thanked Cody, and he says everyone knows he has to go away for a bit, but he made wrestling cool again. And when he comes back, whether Cody's still champion or not, he's coming for him. Cody says, I look forward to it. Rock's like, me too. The one thing that was clear we share, he beat Roman in the middle of the ring, but 24 hours before that, Rock beat him. Cody's story with Roman is over, but their story though, between Cody and The Rock, has just begun. Cody then tells The Rock that you are his boss. But to The Rock, Cody is the champion of the people. And that means he's The Rock's champion. Rock says, you're correct, but he has something to give Cody. And he places something in Cody's hand. Doesn't say what it was, but all he tells him, never break his heart again. And then he leaves. So that's another mystery that we probably won't find out for a while. What did, in fact, Dwayne The Rock Johnson give Cody Rhodes? Again, it's probably setting up, again, for a match probably at SummerSlam, which cool with me. But again, the problem itself was just had a couple awkward moments, but it was fine. It kept you on your toes. The Rock was going to explode on Cody, or if he was just giving in or whatnot. But when he comes back, we will get that one-on-one match. Cody Rhodes and The Rock. And I do, in fact, look forward to it. And, of course, around then, hopefully, we start getting the build to Cody Rhodes and Roman. I'm sorry, we've done Cody Rhodes and Roman. We're done with Cody and Roman. The story is finished. I cannot wait for next year's WrestleMania, where we got to finally get Roman Reigns and The Rock. Cody got his moment. That's accomplished. Now we got to do that match. The dream match of all dream matches. Again, Roman Reigns versus The Rock. Coming to you at WrestleMania 41. We still don't know yet, but we got that. And then the rest of the show was just, some showcasing, some setup. We had a match with Shinsuke Nakamura and the NXT champion Ilja Dragunov. Obviously, there's a draft in a couple weeks. Don't know if they will draft any champions like last year. But, it was a short match. That was good. I've always been a fan of Dragunov, especially his series of matches he had with Gunther in NXT UK. He was the one to end Gunther's UK title reign. I'm pretty sure that will be a WrestleMania match someday. But Dragunov looked good. He does win with the Torpedo Moscow. And that was a nice showcase for him. Again, maybe he will get drafted during the draft to come up to Raw. Or SmackDown 1 and 2. We then have Judgment Day come out. All except for the World Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest. They come out, and Finn calls out the haters and the doubters and says we were all wrong. Dominic then gives Rhea a big introduction, and Rhea mentions how WrestleMania was almost perfect, but they now have a couple new problems. But they also had two things that came out this weekend. Mommy always being on top, and it's a new era for Judgment Day. Finn Balor then introduces the new World Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest, who comes out, another new theme song. The last one he just had that was kind of like a modified of his old theme song, to do 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 do. I love that theme song. I'm so mad they took it away, but you know. Anyways, so Damian Priest says the Terror Twins stand before you as world champs, and it goes without saying that they always rise to the occasion. Now the whole world needs to suit up and rise to the Judgment Day. They hold their titles up. And then R-Truth comes out of nowhere and holds up his Raw tag title in the back. And he claims he's here to celebrate. And he claims he brought the tag titles back to Judgment Day. And he's like, after all this time, you still think you're in Judgment Day? And then The Miz comes out. He says he doesn't want to be in Judgment Day. And he knows Truth doesn't want to be either. And he introduces their Awesome Truth as the new Raw Tag Team Champions. But Balor says they're just going to be the shortest reigning tag champs because he wants a rematch for the tag titles now. Truth says that'd be great. But you got 3 of them. And then somehow it turns into a 6-man tag match. And then Judgment Day is like, you don't got anyone as your partner. And then Miz says, I want to actually see a partner. And Truth says, you will. And he starts to introduce their partner, but then Judgment Day attacks them. So it starts out originally as a 3-on-2 match. Well, it's listed here as Awesome Truth and Man You Can't See taking on Judgment Day's Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and JD McDonough. And as you would figure, eventually John Cena does come out. He is the Man You Can't See. He gets a hot tag in there, comes in there, does his usual shtick. And then, of course, first off, this was weird. Have you ever seen Miz and John Cena on the same team? That may have been a first. But anyways, Awesome Truth and Cena win with a trip with all 3 of them hitting the AA. And get the victory. So a nice little celebration with R-Truth not only winning the tag titles, but also getting to wrestle in a tag match with his childhood hero, even though, again, he's older than him, John Cena. But they win. Cena's probably back to Hollywood. See you next time, John. We also got a recap of Bronson Reed winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale on this past Friday night's episode of SmackDown. Bronson then cuts a promo about how he's going to show everybody that he's the big man around here. And then Rhea and Dom are walking backstage. And then Rhea berates him for putting faith in Andrade and tells him to do something about it. And it does set up for a match with Andrade and Dom next week. But then we see a chair out of nowhere whip Rhea in the head. And it's Liv Morgan, as it looks like they are starting the feud with Liv and Rhea. I don't know how I feel about that. I still think they should have waited. Like, if they do a match at Backlash, at least protect Liv. Don't have her get absolutely squashed. I just don't... Again, I don't want it to be Bianca. I didn't want it to be Becky. I don't want to be Charlotte. I don't want to be Jade. I still think the person who has to dethrone Rhea, long-term wise, someone new, is Liv Morgan. I just hope that this isn't them starting the feud too soon. You know what I mean? Speaking of women, we had the NXT champion get a showcase. We now have the new NXT Women's Champion, only the 3rd person to be a 2-time NXT Women's Champion. Roxanne Perez took on Indy Hartwell. Short match. Roxanne, though, looks great as always. She is a heel now, though, which is strange. I still more see her as a babyface. Unless they're just, experimenting. Because I did hear she may stay in NXT a little bit longer just to experiment with the heel character. I also thought that maybe they would have her stay there until Cora Jade got back and have them reunite as a heel tag team, maybe. But that can always be on the main roster, too. But she does, of course, win the match. And afterwards, Candice LeRae just jaws at Indy Hartwell because, she's not doing what Candice would do. Backstage, we have Jey Uso greeting Sami Zayn, congratulating each other on their big wins. And then we have Natalya confronting Roxanne Perez, saying she'll see her tomorrow on NXT for a title match. Sami Zayn then comes out as the new Intercontinental Champion. He gets a "You deserve it" chant, and he says that means a lot. He had a pretty historic couple of years at WrestleMania, and he thinks that he did. But that's not true, because really it was Gunther that made history. You boo, but you can't take away 666 days as champion away from him. He says he owes us for the help, for the time. If he didn't believe in himself. He thanks his wife and his kid, his best friend Kevin Owens for firing him up. And he goes to put over Chad Gable when Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci come out. Kaiser talks about the work Gunther put into that title and what a shame it is that he lost it to Sami, who looks like all the other peasants in Philadelphia. He says they're here to make this right. And then as they're about to beat down Sami, Chad Gable does come out and make the save. That's where we did get the hype reel for Sheamus, who should be back soon. And then we had Sami Zayn and Chad Gable versus Imperium. There was that little tease at the end of maybe a little bit of dissension between Chad Gable and Sami Zayn. But Chad Gable and Sami Zayn do get the victory. After Sami let Chad tag in, and he finished off after Sami hit the haluva kick on Giovanni Vinci. He then does the Chaos Theory. And then later, Sami is rewarding Chad with a match for the Intercontinental title in his hometown of Montreal next week. Ooh boy. You think they may have Chad Gable go heel? I don't think he should. I mean, it would make sense, but I don't think he should. I think, even though this is a little lame, but what's going to happen is I think Gunther is going to get involved in the match. And it's going to probably lead to like a triple threat of sorts. Or maybe even a fatal four-way. Because remember, Bronson Reed does have a victory over Sami Zayn recently. So it could be one of those two, triple threat or a fatal four-way at Backlash. I'll probably predict fatal four-way, I would say. Because it would make sense for Bronson to try to get involved as well. We also had a hype video. Well, hyping people up who are in the main event, the fatal four-way for the number one contendership for the world title. We have general managers Nick Aldis, Adam Pearce, and Ava Raine talking about the draft when Chelsea Green rolls up and complains, and Adam Pearce says they've heard complaints and they have something for her and tells her to go to the ring. She goes to the ring. Jade Cargill comes out. A few seconds later, it's over. Jade squashes Chelsea Green. And then we get ready for the main event. First off, Drew McIntyre came out first. And he told the music to stop. And he said what happened last night was complete BS. His moment only lasted 5 minutes and 46 seconds. Which is 5 minutes more than most of the fans in the crowd lasted bed. He thanks Punk for sharing a moment between Warriors and says Damian Priest messed it all up. Money in the Bank is a joke that's cost him the title twice and cheapens everything they've done. And Damian is only a transitional champion. He keeps flipping out until Jey Uso comes out, and then the rest of them come out, put on a pretty good match. My favorite spot, though, of course, is the spot where Ricochet did a 450 from up on the post, and he did it through the and he sent Bronson Reed through the announce table, which I thought was a very nice spot. But towards the end, Drew did have Jay lined up. It's just a countdown, though. Punk does grab his leg to distract him, and Jay was able to spear Drew and then hit a splash. And kind of come in full circle, but Jey Uso finally pins CM Punk. And Jey Uso's number one contender for the World Heavyweight title. Like I said before, solid little main event feud to give Damian Priest something to do. We'll see how it goes. It probably will be the world title match at Backlash. But again, we will see. That was Raw after Mania. Like I said, it was good. It set things up, made us prepare for the future. I just wish we had a little bit of a showcase from NXT with both Ilja Dragunov and Roxanne Perez. I just still wish though it would have had just a little bit more of a kick to it for Raw after Mania. But I gave the B. Gave it a B for Raw after Mania. Anything in the live chat? I would have Cody versus AJ at SummerSlam, not The Rock. Do the match at Money in the Bank with Cody and The Rock. It's so good that I don't have to say split the world and tag titles or Vince needs to retire. The Triple H era is here. Thank goodness. He likes the new look. Thank you. He thinks Pat is still stupid on commentary. I disagree. I love Pat on commentary. Punk once again has taken Drew's moment again. I mean, Drew did kind of ask for it after all the months he was basically just bashing Punk and Punk could do nothing about it. But again, it will be, of course, interesting to see what exactly happens with the whole turn of events, though. So we'll see what happens in the weeks for Backlash. And yeah, that is my review of Raw. Again, the first one with these new graphics as well, which I do like. Like I said, probably be tweaking some things as time goes along, and I, refresh myself with some more After Effects, if that's tongue twisting. Like I said, I'll see how SmackDown is this week. I may do it live, but I may record it. But either way, because like I said in the WrestleMania review, I did consider taking a break for a few weeks in April from Raw and SmackDown reviews. But again, these new graphics I just worked hard on. Why would I take a break? So probably either starting on SmackDown this week or for Raw next week, I will go back to just uploads for Raw and SmackDown just to give myself a little bit of a breather. And then definitely the weekend of the draft, I will do live reviews of those shows for sure. Because, of course, it is a draft. And then, of course, we'll get right into Backlash. I will hopefully make a Backlash match card as well. I still do want to do a video talking about CM Punk. And, of course, what happened last night at Dynamite. I want to make a video maybe later tonight. We'll see. But yeah, and just a couple of other little odds and ends. And, again, keep the channel going. We're at 2016 subscribers, last I saw. Which is a cool year because that is the year I graduated college. So, yeah. Just keep things going, guys. Continue to have fun. And again, hopefully I can get a couple other newer things on the channel as well. Like I said, definitely some, want to practice some more After Effects stuff. Show you some of my work whenever I, do it. Or Photoshop and, other things I have planned for the channel as well. Get back to the video game reviews as well. It's been a few weeks since I've done any of those. And, yeah, get some baseball news and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, lots of fun still to come with the man here. So, guys, what are your guys' thoughts on the Raw after WrestleMania 2024? Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comments section below. Be sure also, as always, to slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content to come to my channel. And follow me on Twitter as well at the Club of the Man 93. You may also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you guys all later. And do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself, and that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!